Do you think you're an attractive person? Sorry, that question might have been a bit too off-putting, might have been a bit too direct, but hold on, that's not fair. It's already been 10 seconds in this video and you've already subconsciously made a decision whether you think I'm attractive or not. In fact, when you meet anyone, it's one of the first judgments you make of them. So actually, I will ask you again. Do you think you're an attractive person? I know, it sounds crazy, but that term attractive is something we all think about constantly, but no one really ever talks about. But what's there to talk about anyway? Why does being attractive matter? Is there even a legit way to increase your attractiveness? You've probably grown up hearing that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And for centuries, we've believed this. But today, as more statistical models come out, better quality research is conducted, and cultural standards increasingly overlap, we're learning that statement is wrong. We're learning that attractive individuals receive more positive attention, better job prospects, and actually get off crimes easier.
Has skincare on their Christmas wish list. Everybody.
We're learning that more people today than ever are willing to spend money on becoming more attractive. And we're even learning that infants prefer attractive faces, suggesting that beauty is more nature than nurture. Today, we're finding that there is an element of objectivity in attractiveness. So, what are these truths behind what makes someone beautiful? Transparently, this topic was meant to be a one-video project back in February, but it's slowly evolved into my biggest project ever because the information is fascinating.
Now let's just say like you did take this off.
In this 4-part docu-series, I undergo a series of tests and transformations to figure out how to become more attractive, according to science.
So everybody has a little drop of fat here, and about here is about as big as an egg yolk.
But like any good journey, things didn't go as planned.
To a yoga class, I get out of my class and I see a 911 text from Tejas that says, "Are you free? I need to talk," which I know is never good.
The last 6 months have been the most revealing experiment of my life.
All right, first, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like.
Yeah, it's like that whole line right here.
People are going to notice you once you walk in the door.
Judges, you will rank how attractive their follow-up questions
I'm
are.
going to selectively remove the fat from these areas.
So, without further ado, welcome to How to Become More Attractive Scientifically. Jordan, what's your least favorite thing about Veljko?
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck. Possibly his hair is way flowier than mine.
Okay, I have another question. If you had to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and how attractive you think you are, what would you say? Matt, you go first.
This was a question that my freshman year dorm friends asked each other on the very first night at Welcome Week. Yeah, wild times. I remember the question went around the room.
I don't know, like a 7, I guess?
How the hell do you even answer something like that? You answer too high, you sound cocky. But if you answer too low, you sound not confident.
I'm an 8. 8.4.
But worst of all, let's say you are attractive and answer too low. Man, do you seem like an asshole.
Okay, Tejas, your turn.
Short answer, a 6. But I guess it depends sometimes.
What does that mean?
Today is December 31st, 2019.
Growing up, I was always the tiny, nerdy kid.
So 7 more hours and it's the start of the new decade.
I was a 5'6" and 115-pound ball of joy for sure. But I remember always being labeled as cute and like a little brother.
So we are here from our official sponsors.
And although I embraced this by putting on a show of being a confident guy,
Fuck that, Vince.
looking back, I definitely had my insecurities.
Hello.
What up, guys? You know, we're just doing our thing.
Just
don't
don't
line in.
You'd see people like my friend Daniel, who was a varsity basketball player, have girlfriends since the 6th grade. And in the back of your head, you question,
We're here.
how the heck is he doing that?
So I think Starbucks, my smiley personality, and those around me.
And oh man, don't even get me started on the fear that would arise the weeks before homecoming.
Documentary?
Finding a date?
So what am I doing here?
I always felt like if I could sit down and talk to a girl, I was pretty good. I had some charm. But again, it's if I could.
Alright, we're here with Vicky. Vicky, what do you have to say on the vlog?
I'm amazing.
But not only did my size and stature play a role, but you also start questioning things when you're one of the darker looking fellows walking around in a pretty white school. So, when I say it depends, what I meant was...
Sometimes I feel good about myself, but most times I feel like I dock myself because of my physical looks. Sometimes I can feel like a 7 or even an 8. But most times I feel like I see the look in someone's eye and feel like a 3. But what are we talking about? This is crazy to say out loud. Vince, what class you got tomorrow? Okay, let's lay some groundwork. Humans have cared about beauty ever since our species has existed. It's actually what's helped us survive. As mentioned before on this channel, we have to make 35,000 decisions in a day, and we can't process all of them, so we create these mental shortcuts. One of these mental shortcuts is called the halo effect. In simple terms, it explains why humans will take a positive trait of someone's and just assume other traits of theirs are also positive. If someone is attractive, we also assume that they are healthier, that they carry good genes, and that they'll live long enough to produce offspring. And from a biological standpoint, that makes total sense, because the one thing we still have in common from our cave people back in the day is that one of the goals of the human race is to repopulate. In fact, there's evidence from 100,000 years ago that early humans used clay pigments as cosmetic paint. And some prehistoric sites even show skeletons next to ivory beads, suggesting that even the earliest humans focused on looking beautiful. So back in February, when we first decided to research this, we came across this organization called Coves. They have this incredible YouTube channel and a bunch of articles that list rules on what makes someone more attractive. And before all this, I never saw beauty in that way, that there's actual actions we can take to make us objectively more attractive. And the more I looked into this, the more I realized that this isn't a new phenomenon. In fact, the conversation today around attractiveness is roaring. If you've been on TikTok, then you've heard of this term, Looksmaxxing, which is the maximization of your physical appearance for beauty standards. This trend emphasizes many things like moisturizing and hunter eyes and something called mewing. Have you ever wanted a better jawline?
Sure. Like you see those like chiseled guys?
Have you ever heard of mewing?
Yeah, like one of those? Or like your tongue?
So. I don't know, we're about to watch a tutorial.
Oh.
So, what exactly is mewing? Mewing is a tongue posture technique where you position your tongue against the roof of your mouth to improve facial aesthetics and jawline development.
Yeah, just look that way, keep it going.
Ready before?
Before, yep.
And after.
This is before?
Okay. Oh my god! You look good right now. You got dimples.
Thanks,
wow,
man.
look at that.
I've known you for 2 years.
I never knew that.
So the question naturally arises, outside of just jabbing my tongue in different places of my mouth, what is an easy step that I can do to look better? And that's when I thought about hair and your hairstyle. I'm sure we can all agree that a drastic change to your hair can change your impression. It can change the way people perceive you. So when I first met you, this is how you looked.
Yep.
There's a major difference between the Colt today and the Colt over here. What is that difference?
Yeah, look at this. I got long hair now. I was hanging out with Mr. Kelly Bacasa a lot, and he said, bro, you should grow out your hair. And it honestly changed my life. It kind of like grew me up a little bit because I looked like a little kid in that photo. A lot of things started working out when I grew my hair out. Got a girlfriend, the money's up, the subs are up. Dude, we're up.
We up. More hair on top? Nah, I don't know. Okay, never mind.
Chiquita banana, and I've come to say bananas have to ripen in a certain way when they are flecked and brown and have a golden hue. Bananas taste the best.
For years, I struggled with figuring out my own hair. In high school, I always had this side part. Sometimes it was really messed up, and other times it was fine, but I never really liked it. Then I tried some fades. Here's one done by my mom. She's great at many things, but yeah, not this.
Good afternoon. My name is Tejas.
Then in college, I started to grow it out, and either would have to put a crap ton of product in my hair, so it would be this crusty mess, or if I got lazy, I'd let it be this fluffy mess. Then I went full TikTok F-boy era with this quiff-looking thing, or this messy fringe. Don't judge me too hard. Long story short, I never found a hairstyle that I was confident in. One that fit well on my head, one that gave off the right impression, and one that was sustainable to keep without using an absurd amount of gel every morning.
That was until one evening in December of 2022, where I went into a barbershop and had an experience unlike any other. In fact, it's the first stop of this docu-series. Good morning, world. We are headed to a popular place here in New York City called 12 Pel, and it's a place that offers something called a hair consultation. It's a service that's all about educating you on what hairstyle works best through things like your head shape, hairstyle, density, all these things to give you a more tailored look. As you can tell from my hair, this is the most unraveled, disheveled, chaotic my hair has been in a minute. So yeah, hair is something that can really affect your attractiveness. And if the goal is to maximize my attractiveness, what should I do? Let's go to Pete. What's up? How we doing? Wow, you're blonde.
I am, dude. You haven't seen me since, huh?
No. Yep. Oh my God.
Wow, this feels official. Pleasure meeting you.
How would you describe the difference between going to a regular barber and coming to you all?
In the barbering space, communication was definitely not the most prevalent in barbershops, other than maybe talking about the game or like talking about what happened during the weekend. When it came to the hair, you would usually sit down and say, leave it up to you, or I don't really know what to do with my hair. And that became such a generational way of getting your hair cut that we realize now people want to look customized. People want to feel like their haircut is theirs.
I was one of those guys that struggled with figuring out what hairstyle fits my face. So I'm gonna have Pete live roast me. So this is one of the first. What do you think of that haircut?
Shit, bro. You know, whenever I see like these type of hairstyles, it's just like a throwback into what was trending back then. Honestly, it's not bad. I will say it just gives you such a different vibe. Ultimately, not to gas you up or anything, like you have a very symmetrical face and very sharp and masculine already. So most hairstyles work on you. This just is not your vibe anymore.
My hair doesn't naturally like the side part, so it's taking a lot of like goo and just going.
That's what I'm saying, you know? Yeah. So this is a great example of showing silhouette. So if you like compare this photo to your yellow tie photo, the slight difference in just how much bulk right here sharpens up your face a ton. So like you see how this already cuts down into your face and your jawline a bit more?
Yeah.
But the other one was curved in. So that just makes you look so young and round as opposed to sharp. Most barbers, I think, should be doing this. They look at the entire silhouette instead of just your features initially, right? Because you're looking at the hair.
I want you to treat me as if I'm a new person that you've never met. Pete, I'm lost. I've been growing out my hair for 2 months, 3 months. My goal is just to look better.
Okay, cool. First time client, I always try to make sure that there's like a little bit more of a goal established here, right? It doesn't even just start from the second you sit in a chair, like it starts from the second you come in. I look at your outfit, I look at like, do you have tattoos? What type of accessories do you wear? Because that gives me a good idea on like what type of look that you've been exposed to and also what look makes you feel confident. All right, so like what this gives me off is like this vibe of like athleisure, but also a little bit of streetwear when mixed into it. And also just the fact that like, it's a pretty decent balanced fit. You take care of yourself enough, right? It goes deeper into now the questions of like, what does your lifestyle look like?
That's something I see in your videos all the time when you ask people like, are you working corporate in New York City? Like, are you trying to, like, are you in a suit and tie or what do you do?
We want to make sure that what you're wearing is good for you in terms of the way it looks, but also there's a lot of social aspects into this, right? Because the way that somebody looks at you determines like what they think of you. It shouldn't matter, but it does.
So I'd say, yeah, I'm like a creative guy. I would say I'm a YouTuber. I like to make educational videos. So there's a level of professionalism, like I would say that I like to keep. If I'm going out to a movie, I love tucking in a nice button down, like a fancy button down, trying to make things look a little bit more uplifted.
I like that context because you have your your business side and professional, but also you like to, you like to be a little bit funky and creative. I wanted you to have like a fun look, but also can be styled in a way if it needed to be form-fitting for like a suit, then you have the ability to do that. Yeah. Right now, obviously, it's been such a long time since you got a haircut. So this is now, the balance is off, the harmony is off, right? Yeah. So if I looked at you now, it would be like, oh, like this guy is creative.
But smokes a lot of weed.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but he's really creative. You know what I'm saying?
He's putting on that suit a little less.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I think that's the harmony I'm talking about. Like, like you're going like more 80% creative and like 20% business. Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? We want to bring it back down.
Let's bring it back. Are there any objective rules to how hair can affect someone's attractiveness?
The number one thing for me is making sure that the haircut is well balanced to their face shape and also working with how their hair type is. Right? Some people have longer faces, being oblong. Some people have wider faces, being either more square like mine. Because your hair is very voluminous, the nature of like your curls, we're gonna shrink this down so the head doesn't become too long. If you have straight hair, if you have low density or high density. The last thing is also just the way that the hair growth pattern is, completely changes the way that you would just cut it down to make sure that it lays properly, going back to silhouettes and also how it frames your face.
I think it's interesting too, like I always do this, where if I just, like from my front framing, if I just cover this and like this is the frame, I feel like I look way different.
Your eyes immediately gravitate towards the top, or at least where it's most heaviest, right? But when you have this kind of framing out this way, guess what? Now the silhouette, it goes down to your face or the entirety of everything, because this now connects into the space. Harmony, silhouette, balance is all kinds of similar things for me, but you want it to be harmonious between your hair type, your face shape, and also like your own personal goals, so yeah.
In talking with Pete, I came across a major finding to the question of how to become more attractive objectively.
Here we go.
And it's that the answer is paradoxical.
These hairs love to shoot backwards, but the bottom pieces, luckily they shoot forward onto.
Yes, we all want to be more attractive, and we can all recognize when a change is more attractive. But if there was a single answer for everyone, wouldn't we all look the same? Think about it. What if every guy had a comb-over side part? It kind of takes away the art behind what makes us human. It's been 2 years since I've had this modern mullet look, and genuinely, it's the first time I've felt an answer to the haircut dilemma. It's a haircut that maximizes my attractive traits and hides away some of my weaker ones. It's one that represents my playful, fun side, and best of all, I don't have to use any product. It's the natural growth of my hair. At one point, I did try and force Pete to answer this paradoxical question, and in it, we did come up with a single word answer that got my wheels spinning.
Harmonious. That's the word. That's a...
A good hairstyle at minimum should be harmonious, meaning well-balanced, proportional, and pleasing as a whole. And a little foreshadowing, this won't be the last time you hear this word.
Cool. Nice.
Come here. Come here. Full hug. Thank you, man.
Right, well, he doesn't need plastic surgery anymore, so.
Yeah, I don't have to do that. I think there's two things that you said that's really interesting. I think one is, there's not like one answer to everyone. It's like how anyone wants to be presented is the first question you always ask first, and then to that answer, what are the steps to take?
Right.
And then two, when it comes to haircuts, you're right, it's like most of your face is like fixed, right? It's literally to your bone. And the one thing that can change is your hair and how much it can affect the silhouette and like how you basically add to that overall impression someone wants to make.
Throughout this whole experience, there was one line that Pete said which really stood out to me.
There's a lot of social aspects into this, right? Because the way that somebody looks at you determines like what they think of you. It shouldn't matter, but it does.
So earlier we mentioned the halo effect. Basically how us humans will take a positive trait of someone's and just assume that their other traits are also positive. But there's something about it that we didn't mention yet, and that's how we perceive someone also affects how we treat that person. And this phenomenon can be divided into two buckets. pretty privilege, and pretty penalty. This comes up in job opportunities, salary amounts, and even treatment in criminal court, like lower bail requirements.
Hey, Robin, you know, this guy has sparked this hashtag Felon Crush Friday. His wife is reportedly furious about all of the attention, and she's not alone.
Attractive people are getting something that most others aren't because of the way that they look. There was a study where 60 students were given an envelope of 3 faces. One that was deemed attractive, one that was deemed average, and one not so attractive. The students were then asked to assess these people based on their personality traits and then predict some of their life experiences. And in summary, the results showed that the students believed that the attractive individuals got the higher status jobs, got married, and were overall more happy. Additionally, studies showed that pretty privilege is really apparent in the workplace. Attractive people were more likely to be promoted and have better performance evaluations. And this was true amongst men and women. But the second bucket of all of this is pretty penalty. Surprisingly, being attractive can actually be a disadvantage. For example, research shows that attractive people may be seen as more vain and less modest. Also, crazy fact, studies showed that women perceive attractive men more likely to have an STI. But, what is it? But doesn't diminish their willingness to engage in protected or unprotected sex with those men. There are downsides to these mental shortcuts that we take as humans, specifically the halo effect. To say that an attractive person is also a smarter individual, a better parent, or can be more honest is a bias that could do more harm than good. So beware of it.
If you had to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and how attractive you think you are, what would you say?
It's an uncomfortable question, but we now know that how attractive you are matters in the world we live in. I'm not gonna lie, finding a good hairstyle might have bumped me up a point or two, but why stop there?
I have one more.
And also, have you ever thought to yourself, how far would you go to become more attractive?
I'm Doug Steinbreck, and I'm a board-certified aesthetic plastic surgeon.
Here we measure your skin tone so I can compare your redness and yellowness.
We'll clean up the neck with liposuction and what we call neck type.
You don't seem too happy.
No, I'm more so curious. It's just this color is new to me.
In order to test everything about attractiveness non-physically, we thought the best way would be to make a makeshift dating show.
I make an incision on the inside, go in through the mouth.
And again, I think it's because growing up, I was like told not to. And so breaking a foundation that's been in my head. So that's that reaction.
So, all right, we're gonna move to the body. So first, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like.
Okay. And what happens when the journey you decide to take hits a little too close to home? In the middle of making this docu-series, I got my heart broken.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I've been through that too. Like, I've gone through that, the process of getting to the other side of that.